What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your victory Monday as the Packers defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 27-18 at Lambeau Field yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about this win. And I don't understand the expectations that fans, set themselves up for. We went into the season talking about, historically speaking, defenses typically take a step back after the first year with a new defensive coordinator. If they're a good coordinator, they'll have a good year. And in the second year, they'll take a slight step back. And that's kind of what you're seeing with this defense. I don't think it's a dramatic step back. I think you played that game to win that game yesterday. I'm excited about where the team is. I think they have plenty to improve upon. But also, you went out there and you beat a team by 2 scores. Now, you didn't cover the spread, which we all said was a lofty spread at 14 points. Joe Flacco definitely gives them a better chance to win than Browning would have. So I don't come out of that game going, wow, I'm really surprised at how this team performed or maybe didn't perform. Right. I think they're about where they need to be, and they need to improve. Don't get me wrong. If you're going to compete for a Super Bowl, you got to improve as the season goes along. There's no two ways about that. But I want to talk about a player that I'm excited about, and that's Matthew Golden, the guy who is starting to emerge. We talked, he has improved every single week that he's played football in the National Football League. And it just seems like every single week he gets a little bit better. He shows a little bit more. Matt LaFleur will put another wrinkle in the offense for him. And you're starting to see that week in and week out. We're going to talk about where he ranks across the rest of the league. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. We'll also talk about where he ranks when it comes to the specific Packers team rankings as well. Before we do, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your Victory Monday. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We are media. We're not media members. We're fans just like you, talking Packers on the daily. So if you're looking for that type of content, if you want to get notified every time we do go live, like later on this evening, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to have PTA live. We're going to break down all of the PFF grades, talk about who contributed in that game against the Bengals, that win over the Bengals, and also the players that may have struggled as well. So make sure you click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live like that. I see everybody in the chat. We got Chuck Jaggers in the house, United Bates, Angel Flores, Mitchell's mommy. Appreciate y'all swinging through. Make sure you hit that like button, grab you a seat. I'm having a little afternoon cup of coffee, man. It was an early morning, and got out there and got the work day done early so we can get in here and enjoy this Victory Monday for sure. Let me grab a sip real quick. All right, let's get into it. The Golden era has begun. Obviously, Matthew Golden starting to emerge as one of Jordan Love's favorite targets there in Green Bay. Really excited about the future this kid has. He has the right attitude. He's mature, well beyond his years. Obviously, he's 21 years old. When you hear him talk, he just sounds like a veteran. He sounds like a guy who doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. If you guys keep up with him on Instagram, he's very, very deeply rooted in his faith as a Christian. I just love everything he brings to the table. Now, he's got a fire under him too. Right, you'll see him get a little fiery on some posts, and then he reins it back in. I just think this kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's all about family. He's all about faith. He's all about football. He fits in perfect with the Green Bay Packers. Let's hear what he had to say at his locker last night after the game.
Go out there and play fast, be on the same page with Jordan, and just let the game come to me. I feel like whenever I got confidence and I'm playing fast, the sky's the limit.
You feel like you're on the same wavelength as Jordan at this point?
Yeah, I feel like we're right where we need to be. I'm excited to play for a guy like that, man. Just knowing he can put the ball anywhere. For me, all I gotta do is catch it. So he definitely make my job a lot easier.
After that deep crosser there, I think that 31-yarder, how critical was that? And what did you see there, coming up with that play at that moment?
We actually worked at the last practice we had. Just scramble drill. Having that mindset, things do go off schedule. You got to be ready. You got to make a move fast. And Jordan had a big emphasis on that, and we worked it in practice. So, for it to come live in the game, I feel like it all came out of just us putting that work in, and it came a lot of it.
Love what he said. I'm excited to play for a guy like that. He's a guy who can put the ball anywhere. He talked about them working on the scramble drill, all the things that it came down to in the final, 3 or 4 minutes of the game. You needed to play on third down. Jordan Love had a crucial interception earlier in the game on a third down where you were in field goal range. And that's the other thing. If you end up kicking another field goal, let's say Jordan doesn't throw that pick early in the game, they kick a field goal. I think that might have been the opening drive of the second half. I'm not 100% sure there. Could have been in the first half. don't have it in my notes here right off the bat. Nonetheless, let's say that game ends up being 30-18. Are all the negative fans still negative if that happens? I don't think they are. Like, if you win 30-18 and you're still complaining, there's something wrong with you, right? I think there's something wrong with you if you're complaining 27-18. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, they could have done this better, they could have done that better. But when we got people literally calling for Matt LaFleur's job after winning by 2 scores at home to the Bengals, I've just got to start blocking and ignoring those fans. Like, what expectations have you set on the youngest team in the league that when you win by 2 scores, you're disappointed to the point where you're ready to fire the coach? And you guys are probably going, Clayton, are people really saying that? They are. So again, I don't know. My favorite line to use in that situation when people tweet at me, I cannot help you. I don't know what you want from me. Like, I'm over the moon with where this team is, and there's still plenty of growth. That's exciting to me. So again, Matthew Golden getting on the same page with Jordan Love. Guys, his PFF grade, and we're going to get into all the PFF grades later tonight, a 90.4, had 42 snaps, 23 of which were passing plays. And of course, 18 were run blocking plays, and he had that 1 run as well. But a 90.4 grade, that's a 90 grade in the passing game. Matthew Golden having his best game to date. Now, what's really cool is, how is Matthew Golden going to look when Christian Watson comes back? How is Matthew Golden going to look when Christian Watson and Jaden Reed are back on the field? Romeo Doubs is having a solid year as well. As you see here, he graded out a 72.1 yesterday. So this team is only going to get better. It's only going to get more potent, right? This offense is, as they continue to gel together. As Cheese Mode Activated said, does that say 90.4? That does say 90.4, sir. It does. So just a phenomenal day there from Matthew Golden. And again, we're going to get into some of the other numbers here really quick. It's going to be really, really good. I think you're going to be impressed here. So PFF offensive grade team-wise for the season, okay? Here's where they rank, and we'll get into all of them again later tonight, but 89.9 for Jaden Reed, Jordan Love at 83.0, Josh Jacobs at 82.1, Darian Kennard still sitting at a 77.6. He did not play yesterday. Zach Thomas now up to a 71.3, and then number 6 on the offense, higher than Tucker Kraft, higher than Romeo Doubs, higher than Dontavion Wicks, higher than Elton Jenkins, Rasheed Walkers, all these players that we thought were going to play a crucial role. Matthew Golden sits at a 69.8. You may see that grade and go, man, that ain't too good. No, that's damn good for a rookie. If you grade 60 or higher as a rookie, according to PFF, you're going to be a solid pro, unless you take a huge setback. And listen, that's still on the table too. It's early. We're only talking about being 5 games into Matthew Golden's young career here. But nonetheless, along the way, you score your highest grade in the most recent week, and then you come back and you're balancing out now at a 69.8, 6th highest offensive grade on the Packers roster. He's under contract for 4 years plus a 5th-year option. If he continues to grow, look out, guys, look out. Here's a cool statistic. Yards per reception. He is sitting at 15.1. I repeat, he's averaging 15.1 yards per reception right now. That is second best on the league, but it's actually second best on the team. It's actually first on the team because Malik Heath has only had 2 targets. So if you remove the minimal targets there, Malik Heath's at 23 yards per reception. Matthew Golden at 15.1 actually has surpassed now Jaden Reed and Tucker Kraft, along with Romeo Doubs, Josh Jacobs, and Dontavion Wicks, all over 10 yards per catch. So Matthew Golden leading the Packers in yards per reception at 15.1. How does that rank across the league? Yards per reception in the league, his 15.1 puts him in the number 14 spot. He is 14th in the entire National Football League, not just amongst rookies, amongst all wide receivers with qualified amount of targets. He is at 15.1. He's sitting in the 14th spot. Guys, he's tied with Malik Neighbors. He is higher on the list, higher in the ranking than Terry McLaurin. Look who's just above him. Devontae Adams at 15.2. Marvin Harrison Jr. at 15.4. Justin Jefferson is at 15.5. Guys, Matthew Golden, in terms of yards per catch, is only 0.4 of a yard per catch behind Justin Jefferson. Kendrick Bourne, Ricky Pearsall, George Pickens, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Keyshawn Butte, You've got Jameson Williams, Emeka Egbuka's at 17.4, Calvin Ridley's at 18.1, DK Metcalf at 18.7, and Tyquan Thornton is currently leading the league at a 20.9 right now. And you see all of these players, guys, all of them have over 100 targets, other than Terry McLaurin, who only has, routes, who has 82 routes, and Matthew Golden's sitting at 110. So yards per reception, Matthew Golden is well within starting caliber, number one receiver in that statistic. What's crazy is you get Christian Watson back. Let's say the knee is completely healthy and he picks up where he left off last year. Christian Watson was second in the league in yards per reception last year at like 20.4, only behind Alec Pierce with the Indianapolis Colts. So going to be absolutely awesome to see him continue to grow. Let's talk about receiving EPA, expected points added. This is one of those advanced metrics. He is second on the team with 16.1 receiving EPA on the season. That's only second behind Tucker Kraft, who's sitting at a 20.7. Guys, that is significantly higher than Romeo Doubs. He's almost doubled Romeo Doubs, who has a plus 9.4. That's not the dog Dobby. That's simply saying that's how good Matthew Golden has been in receiving EPA. Now let's break it down to receiving EPA in the National Football League, the entire league. He is currently sitting 18th in EPA, right, in receiving EPA with his 16.1. That's higher than Keenan Allen, Josh Downs, Marquise Hollywood Brown. So above Matthew Golden in receiving EPA is names like Michael Pittman, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Waddle, who would be a number one on most teams, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. Think about that. Marvin Harrison Jr., where was he drafted? And look where Matthew Golden was drafted. Matthew Golden's right on his heels in terms of receiving EPA in that regard. Here's what's crazy, too. When you look at the receiving EPA, it looks like, Matthew Golden has only played in 5 games. Michael Pittman's been in 6, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. 6. Jalen Waddle 6. So keep that in mind. Ricky Pearsall only 4 up to this point when the numbers were taken, of course. Tyreek Hill is slightly above him. Deebo Samuel, Trey Tucker, DK Metcalf. You're seeing Kayshon Boutte again, Emeka Egbuka, Stephon Diggs, Cortland Sutton, Devonta Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jackson Smith and Jigba, George Pickens, and, of course, Puka Nacua leading the league at a plus 45.5. So, again, Matthew Golden in the 18 spot. All of those guys we're mentioning are playing like number one receivers. So is Matthew Golden. We just need more targets. We need more targets. That doesn't mean I think we should give him more targets. What I'm simply saying is he would be on par with these guys if he got similar targets. I mean, you're looking at him with 110 targets, right? When you go and find a George Pickens with a plus 39, he's done it on, not targets, routes, I apologize, 223 routes. So he is basically doubled Matthew Golden's routes ran, and Matthew Golden is still within 17 spots of him. You see what I'm saying? So, again, receiving EPA, 18th in the NFL. Catch rate over expected, he is first on the team. If you remove the minimal snap requirement, he would be first on the team at 11% catch rate over expected. Malik Heath is sitting at a plus 57.7%. But, of course, he's only got 2 targets. Matthew Golden has 19 targets. So Matthew Golden is ahead now of Dontavion Wicks, who's sitting at a plus 9.6%. Savion Williams, a plus 8.1. Romeo Doubs, a plus 7.9. And Jaden Reed is at a minus 5.4 as it sits. So, again, Matthew Golden leading the team in that regard if you remove the minimal snaps aspect of that. Catch rate over expected in the NFL. This is where it gets exciting. Matthew Golden is officially a top 10 receiver when it comes to catch rate over expected at 11%. Above him, listen to these names. Hell, let's go below him for a minute, all right? Below him, players like Deebo Samuel has a lower catch rate over expected, all right? CeeDee Lamb has a lower catch rate over expected. George Pickens has a lower catch rate over expected. Now, above Matthew Golden's 11%, Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, Devonta Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Ricky Pearsall, and Kayshon Boutte. So, again, top 10 wide receiver in catch rate over expected. So, Matthew Golden is tracking in all of these important statistical categories to be a number one receiver. We just need more time. He needs to continue to prove it. Again, 9th in catch rate over expected. He is 18th in receiving EPA. He is 14th in yards per reception. And then, of course, in PFF grades, he led the Packers this week with a 90.1 or whatever it is, and he's currently 6th on the team on the offensive side of the ball at a 69.8 offensive grade. So again, there's going to be plenty of room to grow for Matthew Golden. That's what makes this so exciting, guys. That he hasn't even peaked yet. We finally had that breakout game. What's really cool is if you were to go and look at the statistics over the last however many weeks, he's statistically gotten better every week, if I remember correctly. So what you've got is a player who's ascending. Now, why is that important? We talked throughout the draft process of how a player like Matthew Golden, one of the things that was really considered like appeasing to taking a player like this is Greg Cosell said he's an ascending player. What does that mean? He's getting better every single week. Going into the draft, he was continuing to improve. We talked about how he was, he played his best ball in the playoffs. He played his best ball in the SEC championship. When the games got bigger, Matthew Golden got better. And that's a really, really exciting place to be, man. It really is. So, again, just kind of looking through his stats here. I won't put it on the screen. I'll read it off to you guys over the last few weeks. Let's see here. So, starting week 1 against the Lions, 2 targets, 2 catches, 16 yards. Week 2, 2 targets, no catches, no yards. And here's where it gets exciting. At Cleveland, 4 targets, 4 catches, 52 yards. So he improved. The next week at Dallas, 6 targets, 5 catches, 58 yards. He improved again. And then, of course, this week, 5 targets, 3 catches, 86 yards, and advanced metrics through the roof. So Matthew Golden looking like he's going to be a stud. I was trying to see if they had the projected. Yeah, here's the projected stat total for Matthew Golden as it sits right now. 48 catches, 721 yards. Now, again, that's with his best game being the most recent. If he continues to show out like he did against the Bengals and put days together, keep stacking those good days, you're going to see that number go up. You may be talking about him eclipsing Jaden Reed's rookie numbers, which were off the charts, obviously. So there you go. There's just a little Matthew Golden week 6 report, little update. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and everybody in the chat. I see y'all in our live chat. When we're solo, it's kind of hard to chat back and forth. Really, really appreciate y'all making us a part of your afternoon. But if you're watching this video back later, or you guys right now, as soon as the stream ends, let us know in the comments. What do you think about Matthew Golden? Where does he rank? Do you see him as a true number 1? Obviously, he's got to continue to put it together. Where do you think he'll finish the season? Do you like the way he plays? Do you like his style? Obviously great hands. I think he's got good body control. I think he's a good route runner. There's still some spatial awareness he's got to work on, but as that continues to come along and he gets more and more comfortable at the NFL level, I think we got a stud receiver. Let us know in the comments, and we will see you guys tonight, 6:30 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We'll break down all the PFF grades, and we will continue to talk about this Victory Monday, this win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, appreciate y'all. Hit like, hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live like this in the future. This is PTA. My name is Clayton. Go Pack, go.
Here we go. We're out. Bye, guys.